Well, it's Denise. I lost track of how many days. I'm not really keeping track anymore. It's Thursday, April 16th. Yes, I had to look over to see what day it was. And I already asked She Who Must Not Be Named aloud once this morning when I first got up, and it was only about 2 hours ago, and I forgot. It's because one day, as we all know, is very much like the same. That's not what I meant to say. One day is very much like the other. They're all the same. Yesterday, Patrick and I got one of his scholarship applications filled out and emailed. Today, we have to do another one. Really looking forward to that. I'm drinking coffee, and I don't even like coffee. But when it went on sale after Christmas, I bought one of those giant packs of the holiday flavored K-Cup coffees, which was supposed to be a gift for Sal. I didn't get to give it to Sal because I forgot to bring it last time. And sorry about that, Sal. I was like, this giant cardboard box is just sitting in my kitchen, and I might as well learn to love coffee because here it sits, and here I sit, and here we all probably sit for months. Well, you're not sitting here, but you're sitting wherever you are. Homemade biscotti, dried out from by dehydrating slices of cake. I like it this way better. Maybe it's because you have to eat it slower because it's so crunchy it would break your teeth if you were to try to, if you weren't dunking, that is. I like to eat it when it's just crunchy. But if I'm going to become a coffee person, I might as well dunk, right? That's what biscotti is for, so that you don't break your teeth on it. What else is new and exciting? Let's see. Living on what you can get from Amazon, like most people. And today I have to make a big, exciting trip out of the house, only because I'm so overrun with cardboard boxes that they were forming a mountain by the door that, we weren't going to be able to get out of the house soon. So Patrick has gotten them all in the car. And if I didn't have a big car, I have a Suburban, which is, they're built on a truck frame. They're a passenger vehicle, but you take that third row of seats out and basically you have yourself a little truck. If I didn't have a big car like that, all these boxes would not have fit in. So we are going to have to go to the landfill / dump and drop the cardboard in the cardboard recycling area. So yeah, that'll be our big we shouldn't come in contact with anybody outing. We're not going to stores anymore, and even though it's more expensive to do your shopping online, as somebody with asthma who really isn't taking any chances, me and my son both have asthma, and with there being no treatment and no vaccine for this disease, at first I found it offensive that people were just referring to it as the Rona, because I was like, wow, this is such a serious thing, and to be giving it a nickname, I guess my brain just wasn't it was too soon, when people start making jokes about something and you're just not ready for it to be joked about yet. But I've given up. I've embraced that. Yeah, it's being called the Rona. So, going anywhere, I'm not going to the stores while there is no treatment for the Rona, and so yeah, that means paying higher prices and getting everything through Amazon, and then having to deal with these stacks of cardboard boxes, which on the one hand gives me an excuse to use the car, because you don't want a dead car battery because you haven't driven anywhere in weeks. So I try not to, if I realize it's the start of a third day and I haven't had reason to drive the car, I just drive down to the end of the street, well, maybe it's about 2 miles. I drive down the street and turn around and come back. So today going to the dump in Warrensburg will that will be the use of the car, so I don't have to do that for a couple days. And cardboard is free. I don't have to pay to get rid of it, so I won't have to interact with the employee at the dump. That's our big exciting day. That, and I've got pork chops in the crock pot. Yep, that's the excitement that's going on here. Hope you're all having a good stay-at-home day. And I plan on watching a movie called, and yes, I have it on the side of the screen here, The Search for One-Eye Jimmy. I never heard of this movie. It's from 1993. But Amazon Prime assures me that it is, and I quote here, a lost gem from the 1990s independent film boom. It's got people in it that I like. It's got Steve Buscemi. It's got Sam Rockwell. You know, that's reason enough for me to watch. So, and it's got 4 stars, so I'm hoping that it's better than some of the movies I've been watching. Did I mention the terrible 80s, like, vampire movie? My own fault. I didn't look at what year it was. It was bad enough I had never heard of the movie or any of the actors. That should have, given me a clue. I'm 51, so, like, I would know actors that were prominent in the 80s. No one in this movie was... I didn't recognize any of them. And, it was just terrible. It was like, normally I would say, like, nearly 2 hours of my life I will never get back that I could have been spending doing something better. But, with the whole quarantine situation, I really didn't have anything better to do. I suppose I could have been watching a better quality movie. But is that really a big difference? I think not. Yeah, so that's my exciting day planned. And, homemade biscotti, coffee that I don't usually drink, pork chops, which are really more for my son. I don't digest meat easily. Oh, big exciting news. Was able to get soy milk, the shelf-stable kind, on Amazon today, which my son has been asking for. I drink almond milk, and I had some of that in the house, but he prefers soy milk. And last time when I was at the store, it was during my last great store outing a while back that I got the almond milk. They didn't have any soy milk. And I was able to get him some on Amazon. So that's a good thing. It won't get here probably for a couple weeks, but at least it's coming. And with, we still have a little bit of regular milk. I have, we're in the middle of a half gallon that's in the fridge now that was frozen. I had bought a couple half gallons and put them in the freezer a while back. And yes, just in case you're not aware, you can freeze the milk in the plastic, containers. Don't try it in a cardboard. They will explode. But in the plastic ones, you can freeze milk. It's going to turn yellow. That's the riboflavin, one of the B vitamins separating out of it when it freezes. After you thaw it, it's going to turn white again. So don't think it went bad because it turned yellow. Too many people freeze milk for the first time, see it turn yellow, think it went bad, and throw it out. No. Riboflavin is supposed to be in there, but the freezing just makes it separate out for whatever reason so you can see it. And it's yellow. But I'm telling you, put the milk in the fridge, let it thaw, and you'll see that yellow flavor goes away. Now, at least here in the U.S., where all milk that you buy at the supermarket is homogenized, if you freeze it and thaw it, it may separate a little. Now, I buy low-fat milk, like 1 or 2% usually, so you only see like that teeniest little layer of cream will start, after it thaws, will start to form on the top. You just give the container a little shake. It would be like, like the good old days when they did not homogenize milk. Again, that's not a sign that it's gone bad. It's just a natural reaction to being frozen. So if you do get your hands on milk, and are afraid that you're not going to use it before the date on it, absolutely, as long as it's in the plastic containers, you can just stick it straight in your freezer. I'm also considering making like milk ice cubes for when I just need a little milk. Say I want to have some around for tea or coffee, and I don't necessarily want to take a whole half gallon out of the fridge if I don't feel like we're going to use it soon. My son goes through phases like with cereal and stuff where, he'll eat it multiple times a day for a week, and then he's kind of out of not using it. And if he's not eating cereal, he's probably not drinking much milk. Rather than waste milk, which of course is a valuable commodity at this point, yeah, I'm thinking about putting it like in ice cube trays, or maybe like the silicone muffin tins that I froze my eggs in. Maybe I'll do some frozen milk in like single servings, like a muffin tin of milk. I'm trying to think. That'd probably be like at least half a cup, right? That'd be enough for a small bowl of cereal. You could always do 2 of them. It'd take a little planning because I don't think you'd want to microwave it. I think you would want to let it thaw on it, at its own. So you'd have to take it out before, obviously, right before you want, not right when you wanted to use it. But something to consider so as not to accidentally waste it by letting it go bad in the fridge. Have a good day. Be creative. Do Netflix or Amazon Prime. Catch some movies or binge watch some TV shows or watch YouTube and catch up on your favorite entertainment or tips or whatever. Yesterday I was on Facebook, which for a while, I used to be someone who was on Facebook, never excessively, but I would say a regular, maybe normal amount, maybe a little less than some people. But I got just so burnt out of the negativity that for well over a month I didn't even go on it. And then for the last couple of days I've been going on it and not getting caught up in the negativity. And then yesterday it was like I lost my mind. I was back to focusing on all the political stuff, and when I was like, I've had enough of this. I'm more aggravated than relaxed, which is so not the reason to be on Facebook. You should be on Facebook to be having fun. We can all start throwing around all the political crap again. In the United States, as probably everybody knows, well, certainly Americans all know, presidential election is in November. So I'm just hoping people would lay off, just retweeting, reposting, resharing, nasty commenting. And this is both parties. I'm going to resist saying anything political. Regardless of which party, we all just need to stop. We have months until November. And yes, there are certain things that, if it's legislation that's happening now that you feel the need to comment on, then just make a post about the legislation and let people decide if it's legislation they support or don't support. It doesn't have to be included in a rant about your opinion or some extreme in either direction news station's opinion on the politician behind the legislation. Let's keep it, if you have to post political, let's keep it to the issue and not to just derogatory comments about one party or the other. The reason we're seeing each other's posts that are making some of us want to strangle each other is because, and I don't mean that literally, please, no one take that literally, is because we are friends on Facebook. That's why we're seeing each other's posts. Let's remember that. We have something in common that made us be friends on Facebook. So let's not let the political crap take away the support we can give each other on Facebook and other social uh, networking type sites, especially during this time when we are, I was about to say stuck at home, while we are safe at home, those of us who have the luxury of being safe at home. And there are plenty of people who are out there on the front line who are not safe at home. So instead of bitching that we're bored, we should be grateful that they're out there doing the stuff we need to have the luxury of being bored. Hopefully people are having better luck with the unemployment system, people who are having to apply for benefits. They say that the system is, getting better and better each week in terms of, the amount of volume of, claims that it can process. I hope that's true. I hope if you're someone who's having to go through that process that you're making progress with it. But let's use social media to keep each other's spirits up. And like I said, I let myself be guilty of that yesterday, of getting into the whole political negativity. And when I caught myself, I was like, this is why you stopped going on Facebook. A big part of the reason you stopped going on Facebook was you just couldn't deal with all this negativity, politically based negativity. Like I said, I wouldn't be seeing your posts, you wouldn't be seeing mine if we didn't become friends on Facebook, whether we know each other in person or not. And let's remember that we have something in common besides the fact that we're all living through this, hopefully we will look back at this time not too far in the future, and we will be able to, I'm not going to say laugh about it because there's nothing funny about the amount of deaths that have occurred, but we'll be able to say that we got through it because we stuck together. Let's stop slinging all the political nonsense that the politicians want us slinging at each other. And let's remember that, social networking platforms are there for us to socialize right now. We shouldn't be doing the politicians' dirty work of slinging their agendas around right now. We can get back to that in a few months as we get closer to November. But for right now, let's try to keep it more positive. And like I said, I admit that yesterday I let myself buy into that negativity again. And I'm going to try to just avoid the political posts, avoid, unless I see ones that are blatantly misinformation, which then I might comment. Like someone posted about how the swine flu of, I believe it was 2009, was the same thing as the coronavirus, which is a blatant lie. And it was Rush Limbaugh they were quoting. And this person is too young to have even, been alive, or they were, in diapers when Rush Limbaugh was, actively doing his thing. I was a nurse in 2009, and I was working during the swine flu, and there was a vaccine, people. Huge, huge difference. I'm leaning down because I have my computer tipped in. If I move it right now, it's not the usual angle that I have it at when I'm making a video. There was a vaccine because swine flu was just another name for Spanish flu. And so to say, to use this total lie of a quote that says, oh, that just blew over and nobody even remembers it. First of all, yeah, I remember it because I had to sit in a room with it. I was a mental health nurse. I worked on a psych unit. But people who are sick with contagious diseases can still have psychiatric issues. And a patient who had the swine flu, H1N1, was on the psychiatric unit because she was a danger to herself. And I had to sit in the room with her while she coughed and had a high fever. And I had to sit in that room with her to make sure she didn't hurt herself. I had been vaccinated, though, and the vaccine did its trick, and I did not get sick. So, that kind of post, yes, when it's blatant misinformation, I will still feel the need to comment. especially when people are saying no one remembers it, as a nurse who was working during that, I'm sure my fellow nurses who were working during it remember it too. Was it scary? Yes. But there was a vaccine. And as healthcare workers, we were practically forced to take the vaccine, let alone it was available. It was given to us right at work. We didn't even have to go to a doctor's appointment, nothing. The employee health nurses went from unit to unit around the hospital, making sure that everyone who wanted the vaccine got it. And so to compare that to this was just incredibly inaccurate. So I couldn't let that one slide. But the rest of just, oh, this candidate's an idiot, or that candidate is horrible, or we got to just stop that. As someone who used to make fun of people who just posted cute, cat videos and stuff, I'm going to be one of those people posting more funny song parodies, especially if they're kind of inspirational. Yesterday I posted a few that were, I thought, like really good quality, kind of fun parodies, reminding people to stay at home, and or showing gratitude to the people who are helping keep us able to stay at home. Let's share content that's either entertaining or positive or encouraging people to keep doing the right thing. Social distancing is working. And as we're seeing in Asia, whether they want to call it reinfection, or I saw in an article the term reactivation of the virus in people who already had it, had recovered, and now are sick with it again. That's pretty scary, because if we were counting on using the plasma of people who have antibodies as a treatment, as a way of, either curing people who have it, or even as a stalling measure to help prevent people from catching it. If the fact that you have antibodies doesn't stop you from getting it again, it can come back. I mean, think about things like, you have chicken pox. Yeah, you have antibodies. That doesn't mean you're not going to get shingles, which is from that chicken pox virus that's still in your body. It never went anywhere. It may not come out as Now, I personally had chicken pox twice. So, yeah, don't believe you can never have diseases again. I'm not the only person who's ever had chicken pox twice. Was the second case super mild? Yeah, it was. I got exactly 2 chicken pox, but it was definitely chicken pox, and it was after an exposure to a child with chicken pox. We don't know enough about this virus yet. So let's spread the stuff that reminds people to be safe, to stay home, stuff that adds a sense of humor to staying home, stuff that gives people ideas of how to stay entertained and occupied. Like, I have a 17-year-old. My son is who I am home quarantining with. I also have a 22-year-old. He is with my mother. They're 4 hours away. So, I mean, I could not ask for better company. My mother and my older son are in good company. I know there are people who are either struggling because they're alone, which I can't even imagine. Teenagers may spend most of their time in their room on their computer. My 2 sons are no doubt talking to each other more than I am talking to the one that I'm living in the house with, because that's what they do. They talk to each other on the computer, and they talk to their friends on the computer. But that's what they would do on a normal day, even if we weren't quarantined, because they're really close. And they talk, pretty much every day on the computer, and they certainly talk to their friends, even if, I don't fully understand the platform they use. But it's like a group chat kind of thing, and they check in throughout the day, and whoever's on, they'll talk with each other in their group. So being home with a teenager sometimes feels like you're home alone, but filling out college scholarship applications makes you, for those few minutes, wish you were home alone, because it's a little frustrating trying to get them to focus. But again, I joke about that. Yeah, it's not fun, but it's not fun during regular circumstances, filling out all that stuff. My son's graduating this year. No senior trip, no graduation, no prom, no nothing. He's doing, but I would much rather that than I don't want them reopening schools until there is a cure and a vaccine. Because we both have asthma. We would not have a good outcome. So let's keep encouraging people to stay at home until there is a real treatment, not just some guess, not just someone who, people who aren't doctors are saying this works, or people who are trying to profit. You see the ads. People implying buy this superfood, buy this combination of vitamins, people trying to profit off of other people's anxiety. Let's not buy into that stuff. Let's not buy it, and let's not buy into it. Let's wait for the real scientists to tell us that there's real clinical trials have been done and real medication that we know works available. And then, everybody's waiting for that vaccine, which we know 12 to 18 months is the projected date for a vaccine. And that's normal. That's a normal, you can't expect better than that for a new disease. And this is a new disease. So let's all encourage the positive stuff. We have to stay at home. We have to remind each other the importance of staying home. We have to remind each other the importance, if you do have to make an essential trip out, cover your nose and mouth. It's now mandated. The governor put it into action yesterday. He gave a 3-day grace period for people to get it. Now, it doesn't have to be a surgical mask, but if you're in public where you will not be able to stay guaranteed that you'll be able to stay 6 feet away from people, you need to have your mouth and nose covered. And I think it's about time, because too many people were not voluntarily doing it. You go into the store, some people are being courteous. It's not to protect yourself. That protects other people from catching it from you. So, yeah, now in New York State, if you're going to be in a public place, you have to have your mouth and nose covered. It can just be a bandana, people. There are 1,000 do-it-yourself, no how to make a mask out of practically anything videos out there. There's no excuse anymore to say, oh, I didn't have a mask. It doesn't have to be a surgical mask. It can be, like I said, it can be a bandana. It can be pantyhose, or I would suggest using like tights or something a little thicker than pantyhose. People are also putting like a coffee filter inside the bandana or whatever, just to get that extra layer of, something that would catch if you sneezed or coughed, to stop it from just blowing through, the light fabric. Watch those videos that help us stay safe. Share those videos. Share the videos that are going to give us a laugh. Let's all try to stay away from the negativity, and let's try to raise each other's spirits. That's really, I think, the best thing we can do to get through this together, to get it to end as quickly as possible. We've all got to be on the same page as far as stopping the spread. And it's not going to stop spreading as long as we put ourselves out there to let it jump from one person to the next. So stay home, stay home, stay home. But try to stay in as good spirits as you can. My potato plants are getting really tall. That puts me in good spirits. They're growing in containers. They're not having as much ground, root space as potatoes planted in really nice soil. So am I going to get a huge yield of potatoes? No, I'm not. But I'm going to get some, I hope, and that's better than having none, and I'll be having them without going to a grocery store. Yeah, it takes a few months, but I have ones on my shelf that I canned. Like I said, I'm someone who does home canning. So I've got canned potatoes. Are they the same as fresh? No, of course not, but you fry them up and make home fries or something out of them, and they're great. We had some for dinner last night. We did lunch, brunch, I suppose. We don't really seem to eat our meals at normal hours anymore. It's one of those things that's become optional, like like daytime real clothing. I think I was in like pajama shorts and a shirt yesterday. My wardrobe has gotten stranger. During the time it was colder, I had sweatpants on, but when it was feeling warmer in the house, which probably wasn't really the house, it was probably me having hot flashes. I am at that age. Yeah, the sweatpants had to go, and I was wearing my ridiculous looking popcorn pajama shorts. So, meal times are a little flexible too. At one point, yeah, I took some canned potatoes, fried them up, fried up some bacon, scrambled it all up with some eggs. It's all good in the hood, make the most of what you have on hand. Anyway, I've been talking longer than I meant to. What else is new? And stay positive and help spread the positivity. Let's all give the political stuff a break. Let's post those silly kitten and dog videos and keep each other's spirits up. Share those messages and posts of positivity and hope and quotes that are encouraging, not hate-filled. And let's be there for each other, because that's what's going to get us through this with our sanity intact. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you're getting help with the challenges that you're facing. And let's all remember to reach out to each other if we are feeling too lonely, too isolated. Mental health concerns are a real issue during this time. And I don't just say that because I was a mental health nurse. I say it because I'm a human being, and we all know that some people already have issues or, with anxiety or depression, and this is not helping them. So reach out to those folks. And if you are one of those folks and you're struggling, there is no shame, there is no weakness in reaching out, whether it's by phone, by, message, by however it is that you talk to people. There is no shame in saying, I just need to chat because, the sitting here by myself is driving me nuts today. Because it's happening to a lot of people. So let's all be supports for each other when we're having one of those days, or someone we know is having one of those days. Let's be there for them. Have a great day, and don't let the fact that you're home, or if you're out there working, still try to have a great day, and know that you're doing great things if you are out there working, and know that you have the appreciation of so many people for doing what you do. I'm done talking, finally. Hang in there, everybody, and we'll talk soon.